Lieutenant Giles referenced a report of a child knocking on doors. Upon arrival, officers noticed a 9-year-old girl who appeared disoriented. The girl said she had not, she had been asleep at a residence and was carried out of the residence by an unknown male and then dumped out of a car sometime later. Officers were able to locate the girl's residence in the area of Pike Street and Herman Drive in Riverside. Through the investigation, officers determined that the girl and 2 siblings were asleep inside the residence when an unknown suspect entered through an unsecured window and carried the girl out of the residence. The single parent of the children was not at home at the time. The 9-year-old girl was transported to Parkview Hospital in Riverside and later transferred to Loma Linda Hospital for injuries associated with the incident. The child was listed in serious condition at that time. Detectives from the Child Abuse Unit responded to the scene and were assisted in their investigation by personnel from the Forensics Evidence Unit. The update information that we have for today is that through our follow-up investigation, we now believe that the incident occurred between 11 p.m. on May 7th and 1 a.m. on May 8th. Investigators are looking to enhance a video of a pickup truck that was in the area near the time of the crime. The victim was physically assaulted during the incident, and she is still at Loma Linda Hospital where she is recovering. Investigators are looking to re-interview the victim as her condition improves. The department has committed all resources required to conduct this investigation, and we're fortunate the local FBI office is also assisting. We have no suspects identified, but we continue to investigate any and all leads. We believe this to be an isolated incident. The department has submitted forensic evidence to the local labs for analysis, and we're hoping for a quick turnaround on that. The victim's siblings are staying with relatives at an undisclosed location, and investigators are focusing on the abduction part of the investigation. Any determination regarding other charges related to the children being left alone will be conducted at a later time. We are asking that anyone having information on this incident call the Centralized Investigations Tip Line at 951-353-7261 or the We Tip Anonymous Crime Hotline at 1-800-78-CRIME. Thank you very much. I have my lieutenant of the Investigations Division, the sergeant who oversees the Investigations Unit who's handling this, and the 2 investigators. I'm going to ask them to come up, and we'll answer questions as we can. I mean, obviously, the answers we're going to be able to give are going to be somewhat limited because of the investigation. It's still a current investigation.
I have a question.
So I ask your patience with that on what we're able to answer.
Why is this isolated if you haven't identified any suspects?
We're basing that on by what occurrence, by how it occurred, how it took place. We haven't had any incidences that are similar to that.
Where was Mom at the time?
She was not home. She was at I believe she was at work.
Can you be more specific with regard to the victim being physically assaulted? Can you describe?
No.
More detail?
No, we won't go into any more detail other than to say to confirm that she was physically assaulted.
How much help was the little girl in describing what happened to her, the identification of the suspect, that kind of thing?
Well, let me just go back because I wanted to introduce my investigative team. I have the Lieutenant Ed Blevins, who's in charge of the investigation, the sergeant who oversees the investigative unit, Sergeant Wayne Raymaker, Lieutenant Ed Blevins, and the 2 case agents is Roberta Hopewell and Detective Greg Rowe. And I'll let you answer the question if you want. I know you've been limited on being able to talk to the victim. I'm sorry, can you answer your question again?
How much help was the little girl, victim, in helping to describe what happened to her, the suspect, the vehicle, everything?
I've talked to her twice, and right now I can't really reveal any of the information that she gave me.
Does she know the person who abducted her?
We don't know that.
I'm perplexed, and I'm sorry, because, I understand that you're not going to give away details of the investigation. It'll harm, right, your investigation, but this little girl, I mean, it seems pretty obvious that she was sexually assaulted if a man takes a 9-year-old outside of her home at that hour.
At this time, I can tell you the victim was physically assaulted.
Was her father involved?
No.
The indications you have on the pickup truck and on the video, where did that video come from, and what are the prospects for possible enhancement to try to identify that truck that we're talking about here?
We obtained it during our investigation, and we're attempting to get it enhanced at this time. We don't know what their quality will be at this time.
This is what you're going to the FBI and photo enhancement firms and people like that?
Yes, we have experts working on it.
Are the child's injuries life-threatening?
No, she'll recover.
Are we talking about broken bones? I mean, can she talk to you? Is she, what's the extent of her injuries? And what is she listed in now?
I was able to interview her, so she was able to speak with me.
So what's her condition now?
She's at serious but stable condition.
Anything that the other children inside the house were able to provide any form of any information to you at all?
No, they were not.
Can you tell us the ages of those siblings?
12 and 3.
Was the 3-year-old in the same bedroom as the 9-year-old?
I can't talk about that.
Okay.
Can you say whether we've heard that she was asleep in bed while she was taken out. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you have any theories at all about exactly what happened, based on what little you learned from the little girl?
We're evaluating all the information that we have at this time.
Is the 12-year-old female?
No.
You say you guys have no suspect information. I guess, is it fair to say at this point we know it's a man? Is that all we know, or is there anything else other than that you can get out?
I can't give you that information right now.
On the aspect of the truck being looked at and being, again, the photos being enhanced, is this basically because this is a vehicle that is not seen in that neighborhood, no one can account for it?
It's a vehicle that we're interested in their investigation.
Now you say, Mary brings up a good point. I mean, you don't have a sketch, correct? You don't have any information on the suspect. Is there any suspect description at this point, since you've interviewed this child?
Not that we can release at this time.
Okay, so you're not releasing that information. So truly, what leads you to believe that this is an isolated incident, that this guy might not be going out tonight trying to find his next victim?
At this time, I can't tell you one way or another. I'm just investigating what we have now.
Have you done any cross matches on any other similar abduction and/or / physical assault of children within, say, a 50, 100-mile radius to see if it matches the type of person who would go in, do an intrusive invasion into a home and take someone out?
Yes,
Have we seen anything that's matched?
I can't answer that, but I can tell you we are looking into that, yes.
Nothing's come back.
You kind of following up on their questions, if you guys believe this is an isolated incident, but you have no idea who the suspect is, what would you tell people in that area? Should people in that area be concerned that something else might happen, or just maintain regular vigilance? What would you tell people?
I would tell people the same thing I would tell them every day. They need to keep their doors and their windows locked, and they need to be vigilant about what's going on in their neighborhood.
But should there be a heightened sense now because of this?
I don't think so.
So is it fair to say you are following up on DNA evidence?
Yes.
So you haven't. And the 12 and 3-year-old...
There was a question coming over here.
I said we sent things to the lab for DNA evidence.
There was a question over here, ma'am.
Where did the attacks take place? The assault take place? Was it in the truck, or was there an additional site that maybe you took her to?
I can't reveal any information on that right now.
Where's the children's father? Is it one father for the three kids?
No, but we've located the fathers. We know where they are.
Where does he live?
I can't give you this information.
Have you ruled anybody out as suspects with regard to family, their fathers, things along those lines?
We're still working on that.
Are you putting out a description of the truck?
What truck?
The truck in the video.
That you're having enhanced, yeah.
I don't know at this time. That'll be up to the captain.
We're hoping, if we get an enhanced photo, we're hoping to release that as soon as we
The
can.
video of the truck, was it from the apartment complex where she was found, or somewhere in between?
It was from in that area,
Which one?
between the two areas.
But the truck may or may not have to do with anything.
Correct. It was seen in the area around the time of the crime. So it's a truck that we're interested in. We don't have any direct connection that was directly related, but it's going to be a lead that might help us. So we would like to get that enhanced and get it out to see if anybody can recognize the truck. But we need to get it enhanced.
Is it fair to say the mother's been extremely cooperative?
Mother's been a cooperative. I've spoken to her several times.
Can you tell us if the public has been any help? I know many people were reluctant to even open their door for this child by their own admission. Are they helping now?
I'm getting phone calls with information, and we're following up on those.
The victim is Benny?
4 or 5 houses.
Yeah.
Were there any witnesses, other than because the children were asleep, were there any other witnesses?
I'm sorry. There was a question. We're not going to give out our race at this point. I'm sorry.
Were there any witnesses to the incident?
No.
None?
No.
Do you have a color on the truck?
We have a dark. We're looking at a truck that's a dark colored.
Any possible model?
No.
Any indication on when you might get a turnaround on the forensic evidence, both DNA or anything else that you send into the labs at this point? 24 hours, 48 hours?
I'm hoping very soon. They
Is
can
it
give
tomorrow?
us an exact date or a time that we're hoping very soon.
This is a top priority for them, too?
Yes, it is.
Was the girl drugged?
We don't know that yet.
You don't know.
Sorry if this has already been asked, but how old is the oldest sibling that was in the apartment babysitting the children?
12 years old.
And because of that, does the mom face any repercussions from this?
Right now, we're not investigating that portion of what happened. We're focusing mainly on exactly what happened to the victim.
You said, ma'am, the 12-year-old is a little boy. Is a 3-year-old a boy as well?
No, it's a female.
Can you explain why nobody heard any screams of the girl being taken out of her window? None of the neighbors, nobody was. What happened to her that she wasn't screaming, or was she?
I can't explain why anything was heard. I just know that when we canvassed the area, there were no one heard anything occurring at the residence.
Okay, we'll handle one more question, and then we're going
Do
to
you
call
find
it.
it coincidental that, or strange that this individual took the girl at a time when they knew that her parent wasn't home?
I'm looking into that.
All right, well, thank you all.
Thank you.
All the cards are on the back, except for